What's something someone did that instantly made you lose your crush on them? Say she wanted to have anal sex. I was totally down until she said she wanted to poop while doing it and have it squeeze around my cock. Nope the fuck out. I hope she found someone that got excited. Imagine the creative shit they do together. She had been searching for a job for over 2 months while I helped support them. Then she turned down a job offer because she felt her interviewer was rude to her, because she was late to the interview. The most surprising thing about this is the fact that they offered her a job after she was late to the interview. She spoke badly of someone because she saw them with crutches after spraining their ankle falling on a trampoline, claiming that they just wanted attention. Why do some people do this? I sprained my ankle in 8th grade and one girl from my class confronted me in the hall and started calling me a faker and claimed I was doing it for attention. I was so stunned, I was speechless. He'd insult things I liked and tell me how much better his opinion was, constantly. I had this experience once as well. Every time I mentioned how I loved a song that came on the radio, he'd turn the volume down. Every time I mentioned I like anything, he'd insult it. I turned him down for sex, guess who got the insults then? Checked his social media and he had an album specifically meant for posting photos of hot bikini models, which was just weird. Then I started reading his bio and comments and other stuff, and the way he wrote online came off like a 12-year-old boy, and he used a lot of emoticons. Instantly killed it, and I didn't see him the same way after that. She was super serious about astrology. So did what every horoscope told her, and it was mind-numbing. My husband's ex-GF dumped him because her horoscope said it wasn't meant to be. I'm so thankful. 12 wonderful years and she messages him every once in a while in a sea of regret. I have scars on my legs from an autoimmune disease. My crush saw them on the first hot day of the year, he had transferred in the fall, and he, literally, leapt 4 seats back from me in disgust. All feelings gone. Never spoke to him again. Whenever he talked to me it was only about himself and how great he is, better than any other boys, he's different from other boys. When they're a self-proclaimed asshole, and they have to prove how much of an asshole they are. Fucking hell, this was my ex man. I'm not a nice guy, people have fucked me around and I'll fuck them right back. Yet every time he drank he'd have a breakdown about how nobody respected him and treated him right. My crush knew I was attracted to her, but she made fun of my little sister, different last name, in front of me, and then looked to me in approval. I met a girl and crushed hard on her, and eventually we became friends and hung out. One day she said that children with autism were God's punishment for immoral parents. I told her I had Asperger's syndrome, walked away, and never spoke to her again. One day we were at a party just sitting there with a large group of people. He points to another group nearby and makes fun of them. Why? Because they were in line to get some food. WTF is wrong with wanting to eat? You dweebs need basic sustenance to survive? I feed off the despair of others. She had her dog put down before leaving for college, because she didn't believe anybody would take as good of care of him as she did. It was an English sheepdog. She didn't see the irony in what she did. Of course, it was probably hard for her to understand me as I was pretty much screaming in her face. This was like 20 years ago, we were talking provocatively on the phone, maybe pre-phone sex leading up to the act. I asked her where she was going to touch herself. She replied, my cooter. One of the fastest losses of a boner up to that point in my life. Had a pretty solid crush on a coworker at a grocery store. She even had a friend ask if I was single, so I asked her out for dinner. She said yes and I was stoked. Then she wasn't at work for a week. Whatever, figured it was a vacation or something. Turns out she got suspended for calling a coworker a dirty Mexican. That made me lose interest pretty fast. Had a huge crush on a boy in first grade. Our teacher asked him what the answer was to a math problem, to which he replied to her by yelling in a really stupid voice, donkey. I was so disgusted I went home and complained to my whole family. She told someone on stage during a live theater event to speak up. Like she was in the audience and yelled "speak up" in the middle of a play? Girl I was having a summer fling with beat her dog with a closed fist because that's how you discipline an animal. Immediately went from thinking wow I could see this turning into something serious, to I need to get the fuck away from this woman. Dude said something like, I can't be just friends with girls, they all have crushes on me. Stopped crushing on him out of spite. A guy did this exact thing to me. Only I understood the meaning. He was trying to push me away. And it worked.